I'm noticing that most people just cannot handle nuance. And I shouldn't say most. When we say most, we kind of have no idea because we're all in our little tunnel vision of our echo chambers that we have on our socials and our YouTube. So what we think the temperature of the world is pretty impossible to take. So I'm going to reel that statement back. Instead of saying most people, I will just say I have noticed a lot of people not able to handle nuance and paradox. And that's what life is. It's shades of gray. It's life is not black and white. And this has come up in some major news stories in the astrology community. There's a whole thing going on there. I actually don't want to get into that here because it requires nuanced discussion. And that's not what the entirety of this video will be about. Is that scuffle. But if you've looked into that scuffle, there's, to me, a very clear and obvious answer, which is understanding the person's intent, their perspective, the general nature of what's going on. Everything is fine. But there's an uproar and there are people just canceling people. And it's like, how many humans are stunted and unable to think and to listen? I think it's more about listening and being calm rather than the self-righteousness. I mean, I have that too for sure. I have it big time right now. Well, my whole life. And it's in my astrology chart. And I'm not going to totally toss that out. Even if I could, I wouldn't, because there's a time and a place to speak passionately about something that you know to be true, that matters, coming from a place of contribution to affect change. That needs to happen. I guess what I'm saying is I'm noticing, like, for example, it's another hot button that I hesitate to bring up, but the Candace, Owens, and Andrew Wilson debate, the fact that that debate even happened is, to me, totally ridiculous. The reason is, I'm going to just say it as a fact, our government, any government lies. It's not a thing. It's made up of people. People have the ability to lie. People that get in positions of power, take money, make deals, don't tell. There's corruption. And sometimes the government's not telling the truth. We can see lots of things that don't add up in the Charlie Kirk case. Candace Owens is one of the people that's willing to speak up about that for obvious reasons. I mean, the real conspiracy theory is saying that her and Charlie weren't friends. There's no evidence of that. You are making an assertion based on them not having a text message on a timeline that you say is what friendship means. That's not how that works. So there's nothing to say. There's no documentation that Charlie Kirk did not like Candace Owens. It's hearsay. So obviously she has a reason to care about this. I mean, beyond obvious. And she's simply doing investigative journalism. She's asking questions of our aforementioned government, who is, the case itself makes absolutely no sense. I mean, it's so obvious at this point. Like, the fact that they can lie to us in broad daylight and still there's this many people on both sides of the aisle who still are questioning the people that have the audacity and the balls to question the authority. That's the premise of America. That's the point of freedom of speech, is to be able to say what you think and to challenge authority. So people claiming to want truth but are chopping down someone who's pursuing the truth is insanity. And that's why I say it seems like a lot of people, or most people, can't handle nuance because there's so many people who sadly are attacking a person who is just trying to find out what the heck happened. What is wrong with that? In fact, everything is right with that. Truth matters. Truth is, to me, truth is synonymous with love, which is synonymous with God. These three words to me have a very similar essence and meaning. The creator of all things is truth. It is reality. It is love. So people that want to squash truth seekers, I mean, she doesn't even call herself that. I'm saying that because that's all that I see that she's doing, is trying to find out what happened to her friend. But there's a mob of people trying to tear her down and poke holes in her story. And it's like, you're missing the bigger picture. And she's not even saying, I'm 100% know what happened. She's saying, I'm literally ferociously asking questions. Why would you not want me to do that? What is wrong? And on another topic, I'm so passionate about the animals. I'm finding that I really always have been, but I've been following many amazing accounts on Instagram before I logged out of it that are men who are healthy, fit, attractive, handsome, strong men that are vegan because they understand and are embodying the fact that we get life from life. We get life from the fruit and the seeds and the nuts and the beans and the herbs, and we don't have to take someone else's body and their life in order to sustain ours. So I'm following that. It's lighting me up and it's making me speak out more passionately. And that's a delicate balance, because you may have already shut down a little bit since I even brought this up, because most people aren't vegan. 99% of people are not vegan. And it's uncomfortable. So a lot of people shut it off. So I'm trying to navigate, how do I express what I've seen so that others can be more aware, because it's hidden from us, and put a light to the darkness and start to wake up more people. How can I be a part of that? Not because I just want into the club, but because I feel it in my heart, like I need to speak on behalf of these 80 to 90 billion animals per year that are killed. Land animals. That doesn't count seafood. Sea life. It's not food. The language, we have to start being more aware of the language we use. Like, I don't call it pork. It's a pig. I don't call it bacon. It's a pig. I don't want to eat the pig. He was living. He didn't want to die. I don't want to eat him. Anyways, back to life being nuanced and a lot of people not being able to handle that conversation. I've been sharing things on my personal Facebook recently, and I've gotten some people reach out, which is really great. And actually, it's mostly been men. It's been at least 4 men. One person heading in the direction of not wanting to eat as many animals. One person that's already vegan. One person that used to be vegan, and he also used to be carnivore. So this is the point of me bringing this up. That particular person that I spoke to yesterday, we were messaging back and forth. He was like, I can see both sides, and I've actually lived both sides, and I've actually taken the life of these animals, and I thanked them, and I understand that they are giving their life to us, and that it's not a frivolous thing. But I don't fully support vegans, and I'm not a vegan, and I don't fully support eating animals, and I'm not like an only animal eater. I understand nuance. I understand both perspectives, or more, even multiple, not just 2. And I was like, you know what? It's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much, because he wasn't agreeing with what I shared. He actually first responded to challenge what I had shared. But we were dialoguing, saying, hey, I get it. Most people think this, and most people see that, and they don't see this. And just being able to talk to someone who's like, yeah, I understand. Life is totally not black and white, and both people have points. He brought that perspective up as well with regard to guns. And he's like, I understand why some people are very uncomfortable with him. I mean, it can take lives. It's a very serious topic and thing. And he's like, also, I grew up around them, and I understand safety mechanisms and protocol and what they should and should not be used for, and they do exist. So it doesn't keep me or anyone around me safer for me not to have one. I need to have one. And he didn't say all that. I'm inferring at this point. But the point was, he's like, I understand both sides. I'm just living and I'm like, yes, like that's how I feel that I am. And that's honestly how I feel. We could all use a dose of that. We could all be like that. Listen, agree to disagree, be open to changing your mind. I mean, the amount of people that it seems like just think that they definitely know. And I definitely know what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is open to change. That's what I definitely know, is that we should know what we know, and also always realize there's more to learn. Of course. How could anyone go through one lifetime and like know it all? It's impossible. And I know I just hit on a lot of hot topics right now that have to do with race, religion, corruption, or conspiracy theories, and veganism and guns. These are all really, really hard topics of our time. So my intention is not to turn anyone off or to say what you should definitely think. My intention with this video was to bring up how much there is to consider in this world, and that most of us mean well. Oh, and another thing, that case with the woman and the 3 children, and she's paralyzed, and there was a massive amount of pharmaceuticals. I cannot say much because I have not followed it or looked in. I don't know where everyone's watching this, but everyone is talking about it. And I see such an unfortunate gap and lack of understanding. See, this is what I understand. Men are wired to protect and to create justice. I feel this. They're meant to act. And what I'm witnessing is most men that are talking about this are totally off put by the women that are holding grace and space for this woman that murdered her children. That's the whole dialogue. The men are like, oh my God. And I'm watching all this online and I'm like, men, you don't, not all men, but the ones saying, I'm like, you don't think that the women that you're talking about think it's okay, right? The women would never say, that's okay, no problem, you were out of your mind that day. No, that's not what they're saying. But the men are wired to execute something and to say, this was a wrong, it's an injustice, I'm going to protect these children, off with her head. I get that. I love that men are like that. But this becomes the thing where, oh my God, I feel like I'm like, this is like my first or second, I'm stepping in hot water here, but it's nuanced. Men are meant to act that way. And as a woman, I understand that. However, as a woman and as the way that my mind and heart work, based on what I understand, I can understand drugs take you out of your mind. She was on drugs that she wasn't a drug dealer. She wasn't like a drug user. She was prescribed these from our medical system. She was apparently asking, help, I'm suffering. And she was giving something that put her into potentially a state of psychosis. So unfortunately, men who think that it should just be like guilty and we're done here, it's not that simple, because we can imagine how horrifying it would be to be under the influence of drugs that make you do anything of that sort. And it's like, oh my God, it's her worst, I would imagine it's her worst nightmare. I would imagine. And again, I haven't watched it myself. The point I'm making is there's this divide happening, the left and the right, Candace Owens, or what's his name, Andrew Wilson, and like this astrologer messed up, or no, he didn't. It's like all this. And then now this woman is like, it's like, let's take this into consideration versus the people that are like off with their head. And I'm like, whoa. All of this is valid. It's not either or. I wish everything fit in. What world do these people live in that think everything fits in a neat and tidy box? Life is messy. And no one's saying these bad things are okay. We're just saying we have empathy. We have the ability to say, okay, what's the shade of gray that we're working with here? And how should we respond as an intelligent species and an intelligent society? Let's factor in our mind, our heart, our society, what these rules, I'm just saying that people need to slow down and take a step back. And now I'm just lecturing. I'm just randomly going off about what I think that people should do. People, I don't know what percentage, I don't know. But that's what was on my mind today, is how much nuance, gray area, and also paradox that there is in life on the planet. It's super hard. I come back to this every day. Life on Earth is nuts, in my opinion. It's crazy. It's hard all the time on so many people. It's like, as much as I'm optimistic and hopeful, and I like to help people, and I always will see that there can be a better way forward. Yeah, also sometimes it just sucks real bad. Sometimes that really sucked, and I'm sorry that was part of your life curriculum, or in the path of your lifetime that you had to go through that. Sometimes it's just freaking hard. A lot of times it's freaking hard. And also, I'm not going to go to sleep tonight and let that be my future. Oh, life is hard and it sucks. I just recognize that. And I have compassion. And I listen. I mean, everyone trying to wrap everything up and saying, Donald Trump bad guy, or yay, Donald Trump's going to save us. Like, I used to be in one of those camps as well. And I really, 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 as we all do, want the best. Well, not all of us. A lot of people don't want the best. But for the most part, the people arguing ultimately want the same things. In politics, in these public debates about what's going on, it's just everyone has the need to be right. At least the people on social media, which I feel like feels like it's everyone. But it's not everyone. There are people that just don't get into those things. Probably for the best. Anyways, life is nuanced, and so is this podcast. I don't know exactly what I'll talk about the next time I turn the camera on, and you'll get there with me if you decide to subscribe to my channel. I just aim to bring my truest self, and different things are on my mind and my heart every day, every 5 minutes, something different. But I trust that whatever I do decide to say and share is coming from an authentic place. I don't claim to be right or to know it all. So if I mess up, I'm okay with that. But I do promise to be Candace, and that's a lot of fire and air. That's a lot of passion and intellect and desire to connect and bridge together the gaps that I see and to make the world a better place. I mean, that's not my Miss America speech. Like, genuinely, I want to contribute in a positive way. So that's what I'm doing. Thank you so much if you did watch this episode, and please subscribe if you have not already, and I'll see you in the next video.